Hey guys, I'm going to test the audio now. So if you're wondering why I'm going to be quiet for a bit, I want to make sure that the audio actually works, because this game is known to have pretty insane audio. Oh, DualShock 2 not connected, what the hell? Yeah, this must be to do with my controller. Hopefully that hasn't fucked everything up. This is what happens when you have everything so close together. Now I have to move everything just so I can make sure the controller is in to move the entire PS2. Alright, let's take this out. Let's plug it back in. So there we go. Because my controller keeps coming out of the port. I don't know why, but it does. Hopefully the stream's still up, because I know that I'm going to need a new PS2 controller at one point, but I'm not going to get one until this one goes down. This one's taking a beating. Right. Right, there we go. I can actually tell what's going on now. So now I'm just going to bring out the live chat so that I can actually see what's going on. Oh, actually I can just go into watch mode, can't I? That might be easier. If I can, yeah, view and watch page. That makes things so much easier. I cannot stress how much easier that makes it. So right. I think I've got everything sorted now. It's all up. Now I can get straight to the game. And I've wanted to stream this game for a long time. You can probably imagine how long I've been waiting to stream this game. If you know that this is my favourite game of all time, then you'll probably have already guessed that I'd be streaming this at some point. I might as well just let this cutscene run. Why not? It's started up, so you get to watch this cinematic battle, which it looks pretty good for the time. Does this cinematic? But compared to the one that plays when you start the new game, this is nothing. I mean, it's still pretty good though, like lots and lots of action and shit. Well, only that one bit of action at the start. The only thing that you're gonna have problems with the stream is the little flickering effect. Like, I've noticed that in all the streams I've done on my PS2 and consoles using my capture card. It's to do with the capture card, and it's something that can't be helped, I'm afraid. Right, hang on a minute. Let's see if I can actually bring out... Right, there we go. I can actually see it from there now. I like this version better, personally. Right. Right, let's get this shit started then. Now, the thing that I like about this game right from the get-go is this intro cutscene is awesome. Like, everything about this intro cutscene is amazing. Like, remember that this is a PS2 game, and PS2 games kind of like, visually, you didn't see much of this. But this looks amazing for PS2, does this scene. Like, I mean, the entire game does, but especially this cutscene. This cutscene looks incredible for PS2. One thing that I love about this cutscene is when the names appear in the credits. Like, the names appear in the credits at the perfect time for, like, the best moments. That's what I like about this intro scene. Now, not all of them, obviously, but, like, if you pay attention to one of the names coming up, like, notice the sound design has appeared while that giant windmill, like the sound designer's name has appeared while that giant windmill's creaking. You might not be able to hear it, but the giant windmill, and now the art director appears when you see like this overview of the entire city of Solde, or town of Solde, I think. And obviously background design modeling, there's character models going around. Like, the developers knew what they were doing with this game. They knew when to put everybody in the credits. Like, the character modeling and all that lot. Visual effects, well, to be fair, there isn't that many visual effects in this scene, aside from here, but you could argue 3D animation showed up because this guy's moving an oar. But you have to put all of their names in somewhere, so even though there's no particle effects in this scenario, there's going to be plenty of them. And I love this bit. This bit's the best bit, because the moment that the music gets epic, which is right about here, guess who shows up? Yeah, exactly. Just to gloat about how amazing his soundtrack is in this game, he has to put his name right at this point, just to make everybody know who wrote this, who did this soundtrack. I love that. Like, the timing of the name is just perfect. And yeah, obviously the director puts his at the end. Like, that's just the very beginning of this game, and it always amazes me how they put all of the, like, where they put all of the, like, names and stuff for all the developers and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Like, like, so they all get their own time in the spotlight. Well, most of them do. Now, this is a little flaw that I found. Notice that that woman has just walked straight through a barrel. Like, her feet have faced straight through a barrel. Sup, Hasten, or Haitian. How's it going? I didn't even know that you knew my channel existed. But apparently you do, because I saw you on Shintai's stream. I'm English. I'm from the city of England. But yeah, this game looks absolutely gorgeous for PS2. It definitely does. Like, you can even see like the lighting zooming in like the cutscenes just across that little bit of brickwork. Well, the country of England, not the city, but you know what I mean. But yeah, like, you were the one who mentioned Romancing Saga in the Shintai stream, and like the thing about that game for me is once I finish playing through Shadow Hearts 3, which I'm currently playing through, then I probably might pick up Romancing Saga 2 on PC. That's what I'm thinking of doing. That's my plan. Ah, right. Ah, so you are Jonah. I see. That makes sense. because I got you confused. Because I swear that because that's the thing. You had another channel, didn't you, when you were watching Bio's stream? So I thought that you had that channel, but it seems that you have two channels. That makes sense. So yeah, how's your new year been? I've just mainly been chilling all year. Well, chilling the whole new year really. That's all I've been doing. It's probably going to take a while to get to the better parts of this game because it's going to start off with like the whole like I have to just do like 2 attacks at a time and stuff. Hopefully I can get to the temple dungeon in time. I don't know. I'm just gonna rush through it. Oh nice. The 1st of January is your birthday. That's pretty cool. I hope that the... Oh yeah, it's muted. I was making sure that it was muted. So I didn't have to hear myself talk during it all. How's the sound, by the way? That's what I want to know. I want to know how clear my voice is. I know it's not particularly clear to begin with, but is the sound too loud? If the sound is too loud, then I can change that. They really did put a lot of effort into these cutscenes. Even the regular ones. Like, right, good. I mean, it's a shame that I have to turn the sounds, like, way down for this game, because this game has an amazing soundtrack, but if I turn the sound up too much, no one could hear me, so I had to get the right balance for my voice. But the thing about this game is that they put so much into this game that, like, you wouldn't expect it to be like a overlooked game or like a low budget title. Well, it isn't a low budget title. That's the thing. It can't be a low budget title. But you wouldn't expect this game to not be as popular as like other more popular games based on how much money or well, how much effort has been put into this game. Well, the fun fact of the mobile game is a lot of the music in the mobile game was taken from this game. Like, I might, if I can get to certain areas, I might actually be able to turn the music up just so that you can hear the music and you might actually recognize it from the mobile game. Because the mobile game takes some of the music from the first game, but not much. It takes most of it from this game, particularly the bits which play in the sections where you're actually moving around the map. Those are the sections which take the music from this game, pretty much. I don't know how much music they've taken from, like, Valkyrie 2. I know that they've taken a lot of it, but I haven't played enough of the mobile game because I just couldn't get it to work on my Android emulator, so I don't know why, but apparently I'm not allowed to play it anymore on the Android emulator. Yeah, it's really good, this soundtrack. Yeah, they reused a lot of assets in Valkyrie Anatomia from this game. Like, pretty much all the enemies are all from this game as well. Some of the environments seem to have been from this game as well. Like, it's crazy how they used a lot of assets from Valkyrie 2 rather than Valkyrie 1. But I suppose Valkyrie 2's assets look pretty cool anyways, so you can't really go wrong, really. Right, I'm just gonna rush through and get to where I need to get to. I don't think there's any point in me going all the way to get the tri-emblem thing. I'm just going to go right over to the end here. But apparently I've heard that you can talk to NPCs and they have multiple dialogue things. Like, if you talk to NPCs over and over again, then they'll change their dialogue, apparently. That's just what I've heard. I haven't really done that. Like, there's a lot of little details in this game that are so easily missed. And, like, there's some pretty cool details as well. Yeah, the game kind of starts off a bit slow. Like, the first two chapters are very story focused. Then you get to chapter 3 and the story just completely, like, it's all out gameplay from there on. A lot of people have made fun of this game for having, like, way too many cutscenes. And I can't really blame them, to be honest, but at the same time, the cutscenes are pretty well done for the most part. The only problem that I can see with the cutscenes is some of the facials. Like, some of the facial expressions of the characters are a bit odd at times. But I'm going to rush through this. I'm probably going to fight a few enemies though, because I want to make sure that I can survive in the later areas. Plus I need to beat the, like, first boss as well. But it has been a while since I started this game again. I'm not going to finish this game. Definitely not. I'm just going to see how far I can get through it. It amazes me though how this game hasn't had that many reviews. Like, aside from Boss and Burst review and a few others, like, there really isn't many reviews of this game on YouTube. This is basically explaining the existence of monsters in the game, pretty much. And they have to overcomplicate it. Like, the whole point is that, like, and I can kind of tell you the point of this based on what the game's going for. It's trying to kind of separate you from the world around you. That's kind of what it's trying to go for. So, basically, all the areas that you're in are supposed to feel desolate. And that's so that it can have a better effect on you with the visuals and the abstraction. But this is basically their way of adding enemies to this. Because a lot of the I'm not going to watch the tutorial, screw that. But because the enemies, like, you've got to have an excuse to have enemies in the game, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. At the start, it's just basically just attack with 2 moves at once, and that's it. But yeah, I don't know if this enemy is in the mobile game. I think it might be. It looks like it would be, but I'm not sure. Like, is it just me, or does this game look so much better on a CRT TV? I don't know, but I'm using a CRT TV, so, like, I'm not playing this game with progressive scan. I'm just playing it on a CRT, and it looks incredible on a CRT. At least to me, it does. The game likes to go a bit over the top with explaining things at the start, but particularly Silmeria, she likes to over-explain things a lot. And in case you can't tell, this chick is technically two people. If you haven't played this game, then you probably might not get that, but as you can tell, like, she's talking her mind, so they're both sharing the same body. But one of them is the goddess Silmeria, and yeah, she's basically sharing Alicia's body. And yeah, photons, which kind of add a like platforming element to the game, and kind of a puzzle element. But unlike most games, this game doesn't. I don't really need to know that. This game doesn't force you to use to solve puzzles. But I prefer to just hit my way through everything. Like, when you're fighting, like, multiple enemies, one of the enemies is going to be the leader, and if you kill the leader, then you automatically win. That's where the element of strategy comes in, because, like, leaders have more health, but if you only focus on the leader, then you can get surrounded. I mean, obviously that doesn't happen at the start of the game, but later on it becomes a bit of a problem. And you might want to take out individual enemies before you go for the leader. And that's kind of how the game works in a lot of ways. So if you're really powerful early on, you can just dominate the game and just go straight for the leader every time, and it's usually more beneficial to do that. But you can also go for the other enemies and then the leader if you can kill them quick enough to get a direct assault. Now, I'm not sure if I will be able to get a direct assault at this point, but I can try. I don't know if I got a direct assault before. I think I did, actually. Yeah, I did. But yeah, that's a direct assault. That's what happens when you have, like, all of those 5 orbs on the right-hand side of the screen. Once all of those are maxed, like you see the red bit at the top, that's a direct assault. That basically means you get bonuses to magic crystals and experience. And ideally you want to get that, but you also want to get as many magic crystals as you can, because that means more experience. I'm not going to be opening the chests either. I might end up skipping some of the cutscenes as well at some point. I don't know. It depends on what you want me to do. If you want to watch the cutscenes, I can show them, but if you're not bothered, then I can just skip them. Because there's a lot of cutscenes. Remember that she says that for Leia, by the way, and then goes straight to do this. Like, why shouldn't she tell him? What could possibly go wrong if she told him that, hey, I'm sharing a body with a Valkyrie? Like, what's the harm in that? Instead, you try the not-so-subtle approach of bringing out an Einherjar, hoping that no one will notice. But with this guy, it'll make things a lot easier, because now I'll be able to do magic. And this guy's Mithra, basically, that's his name. And there's tons of Einherjar, so basically if you're the type of guy who likes lots and lots of characters, this is a great game to play, because there's plenty of them. But for the most part, aside from a few things that you can read into, these guys are mostly just going to focus on being like, they're just mainly going to be for battle. They're not going to really, the story doesn't really revolve around them. But they do have their own backstory if you read into it. And that's supposed to be Hurst. And Hurst is basically following us, so we have to escape from Hurst. Oops, I need to bring up, not that menu, this menu. Now, to find out more about the Anheya that you get, I think you go to the status screen and you go all the way down to background, and it basically shows you all the information. So basically, if you read into this, Mifa is betrayed by his king and tortured to death. That's basically the gist of it. And now he's an Anheya fighting for Silmeria. That's kind of how a lot of the stories go in this game with the Anheya backstories. This song you'll have probably heard if you played the mobile game. And I'm going to just turn it up a little bit.
I am a fighter, but I will do my best.
And now I'm turning it back down again so that I can actually talk, but that's one of the songs you probably will recognize from the mobile game if you played it. But yeah, you have more characters now, so now I can actually be more effective at killing. And he's frozen. Yeah, it gets a lot easier now because we have a mage. Mages are pretty useful early on, but later on they're kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure how the surround sound works with, like, because this game, I'm using surround sound at the moment. Not sure how that works with OBS. Because I have had problems, like, I have watched some of my videos before and had problems hearing some of the audio. I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, you can also break off enemy parts, and that's how you make, well, that's how you get accessories and items and stuff. Like beast flesh, which can be sold to shops. But that's not the leader. He's the leader. Looks like we've missed out on getting a direct assault though. No biggie. I mean, Frigid Damsel is actually pretty handy because it freezes enemies. So hopefully we'll be coming to our next Anheya soon. And this is kind of like the platforming. This is how it works. So basically you target up and it shoots a diagonal photon and then you jump right afterwards. It's pretty simple once you get used to it pretty much. I mean, this might not be a long stream. This is probably going to be a shorter one. I'll probably just maybe get through chapter 1 or so. Or maybe chapter 2, I don't know. There are a lot of cutscenes, so I'll probably just barely make it to chapter 2 and that's it. But the game does get a lot more interesting than this later on. It just starts off very basic at the start so that it can get players into it, because later on, like if you notice, I can only do 2 attacks with Alicia and Rufus, and with my mage I can only do 1 attack. Later on you can do unlimited attacks, but if you use the same attack too many times it'll cost more AP, and the AP gauge is at the bottom. That's kind of how it works later on. And this is basically explaining about releasing Anheya, pretty much, because you have to... Well, you don't have to release Anheya, but if you release Anheya, then you get permanent stat items which you can use on any character and make them really powerful. Right, so this is where we're going to get either Crad or Roland. No, in my luck, I'm probably going to get Roland. Oh, no, this is actually Light Warrior. Oh, I'm jumping the gun a bit. Sylphid. I never really use Light Warriors much in the game. They can be pretty cool to use, but I've never really used them. But Light Warriors are basically like Alicia. They basically use a sword, but like a one-handed sword. But now we have 4 people in the party. As you can see, it changes things dramatically. And it means we can break off more parts, and it also means that we can kill enemies quicker. This is how the game's supposed to be played. As you can see there. So the more party members you have and the more attacks you have, and with the Divine Time given, which you get later, which allows you to use as many attacks as you want, so long as you have enough AP to do so, kind of makes this game pretty deep later on. But the game gets challenging to compensate for that. And that's probably why a lot of people find the game to get really hard later on. But I'm not really sure about that. I mean, this game is what I would like to call unforgiving. It's not really... It's a bit like old Tri-Ace games, really. Like, Tri-Ace games tend to be unforgiving. Like, they're not... I wouldn't go so far to say it's a hard game, but if you fuck up, this game's going to punish you big time. It's one of those games, and pretty much every Tri-Ace game is like that. Like, even the first Star Ocean was like that, where you could get paralyzed or petrified, and if everybody got paralyzed and petrified, you're basically dead, and it's game over. So, yeah. It can be pretty brutal when it wants to. I need to stop getting hit. Ooh, got dead ashes, those will be handy. I think they can heal you, which can be pretty useful. Right, so over here is where... Oh, I know what this is. This is a very long cutscene. A very long cutscene. I'm probably just gonna skip the cutscenes here. Like, so if you want to see them, but yeah, this is where you get Dylan. And Dylan is awesome, so I'm gonna use him immediately. Like, fuck Sylphid, I'm bringing Dylan in the party straight away. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm having him at the front. Usually there's an enemy over there. I thought there was, but apparently not. Oh, hang on. You're supposed to go this way, I think. This is where the dungeon gets a bit confusing. I'm gonna just see if I can skip through a lot of the enemies at this point. I mean, I'm not gonna say that this isn't a game that you can grind in. It's just that sometimes it's better not to grind. It's not like Final Fantasy VIII where the enemies level up with you. Rather, like, leveling up in this game, you mainly level up to unlock new, like, attacks and stuff, not to become stronger. To become stronger, you need equipment and other things like seal stones, which come to play later. And that's how you become stronger in this game, for the most part. But levels help a little bit, just not much. And as such, you can grind in this game, and the game's still challenging, even if you grind. So that's probably another reason why a lot of people find this game really hard, because you can't just grind to win. It's not that simple. You can also use enemies as platforms, like you can see there. And now we're gonna go, I think, fight the boss, or is it? No, not yet. We've still got to get Crowd, I think. Or have we completely missed him? We've completely missed the end. Oh well, I'm not gonna fuss over it. I mean, I've played the... Yeah, the combat is basically the same throughout the entire series, pretty much. Like, when I played the mobile game, like, the difference between the mobile game and this is, like, you can move around in this. Anyways, this is the first boss. And the trick to beating this guy is to get behind him. But yeah, Dylan is really powerful. Unfortunately, I couldn't destroy his tail. Hopefully I don't die here. But now I've destroyed his tail, it'll become a lot easier. But yeah, you can dash like that, which can help you get from to a certain position, which makes things a lot easier, like especially if you want to hit a specific location of the enemy. Because as you can see there, I don't want to hit that shield thing that he has. But depending on the attack you do, and depending on your position, will depend on what you'll hit, pretty much. I mean, this boss is pretty simple if you just keep behind him and you destroy the tail first. If you don't destroy the tail first, then you're going to have a hard time. Like, as I say, that's what the Anhei are in this game, pretty much. Like, ooh, crap, yeah, sometimes they can play mind games like that. So you have to kind of watch what you're doing, sometimes. Hopefully I don't get totally screwed over, though. Yeah, this wasn't the most ideal situation right here. Maybe if I could destroy this, that would be nice. No, that's not going to happen, is it? Right, I want to just dash away and get my AP back. Like, that's another element that comes into play, like how much AP you have after attacking enemies kind of matters, because you might need it to dash away. Yeah, this isn't working very well. I'm going to need to get around him, but it's very difficult to do that at this point. Uh-oh, things are going horribly wrong already. I need to get into a better position where that stone column... Oh, crap. That went horribly wrong. Don't know if I have any resurrection items at this point. Oh, I do. I might have to just resurrect Dylan and just see if I can kill this guy with him. Now I have to be more careful. But yeah, that stone pillar's in the way, so I can't get behind him, that's the problem. If I could get behind him, then this wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, this game is pretty tough in certain ways, but it's supposed to be. Ah, I finally got it. It's a bit late for that though, isn't it? I think I should be able to do this. I'll just use a dwarf tincture. Because Dylan is strong enough as it is. Like, I shouldn't have too many issues as long as he's around. Yeah, not the best start, but... Ooh, we just totally destroyed him. Yeah, sometimes if you break enough parts, like, you can actually break the entire enemy or break a part of the enemy that just one-shots the enemy completely. That doesn't work with most of the bosses though, but it does work with some enemies where you can just instant break and just kill them instantly, which can be quite cool if that happens. But yeah, looks like Alicia and Rufus kind of suck. But yeah. I'll probably show this cutscene now. Yeah, I kind of got the gist of what the gacha system was. In a way, it was kind of like weapons. But it's cool that like the characters are easier to get in quests and story modes than microtransactions. I love how he calls himself a Knight of Japan, yet he's wearing a freaking vest. Like, if you were a Knight of Japan, wouldn't you be wearing like heavy armor? You'd think so, wouldn't you? But let's be honest, if you have muscles like that guy, if you have muscles like Dylan, you don't need armor. Because his body is armor. It might as well be. My philosophy on Dylan's death and how he died and became an Anheya is he worked out so hard that his shoulders exploded and it killed him. That's my theory as to how he died. Because his muscles just grew so big that they just exploded, and that kind of explains the 2 scars that he has on his shoulder. That's my theory. And to be honest, like, as crazy as that sounds, I think it's plausible, because just look at the guy. Like, that's the only way he's going to die, let's be honest. So yeah, basically, he's found out that she's a Valkyrie, which is pretty obvious. Despite not wanting to tell him and all that lot. Like, without that Anheya though, it's going to be really hard to do. It really is going to be hard to do any more with this game, really. I might have to end the stream prematurely if that's the case. But yeah, this bit is pretty epic. I'm going to turn up the sound so you can hear how awesome this section is. Right, that's just to basically sum up the sound in this section. Pretty much. This is probably my favourite town theme in an RPG, in my opinion. Plus my favourite town as well. So, yeah. I just get a kick out of listening to it. But what I want to do is head for the armory straight away, because I'm going to need to get tons and tons of items. Well, I don't know. Depends on how long I'm going to last. I'm definitely going to need to get some union plumes. And Warriors Arcanium. Oh, I need to get the dwarf thingy, don't I? Oh, I can't even find it. I suppose I can afford a leather glove or cloth greaves for Dylan. Yeah. That'll do. Right. I'm gonna equip him. Oh shit. I hope I haven't used too much money. Because I've noticed that everybody's dead. But I can sell some stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, these are accessories that you can use, but you can sell them. I'm not going to be playing on this file for a while. Like, if I do play this again, which I might do, then I might just skip over to one of my other files. But yeah, I'm definitely going to need to rest up at the inn after that. Because that was horrendous play from me. Like, usually I'd have either Crad or Roland, but since I skipped them by accident, I kind of fucked up. Right, there we go. Yeah, so basically if I get a game over, then yeah, that's basically going to be the end. Oh shit, I can't go that way. Yeah, what you have to do is you have to go all the way to where the guards are at the front of the castle, and then you have to go to the back of the castle. There are other things to do in the town, but, like, for the most part, that's all you have to do. But yeah, I love the design of this town a lot. But if you play the first Valk profile, then you know that what happened, and it's not really a spoiler because it's in the first game, and this is supposed to be the sequel. But in the first game, you'll know the reason for this. Let's put it that way. Right, so yeah, those guys are slacking, so we can just get around and... One thing I also like about this game is that, yes, you're in the foreground, you're kind of in the foreground and there's people walking around in the background, but they kind of walk, like, from the background into the foreground, which is really cool. But because it's a side-scrolling game, it gets to do a lot more with the visuals. Like, as you can see, all these particle effects coming from the plants. Like, Like, you can tell that they put a fuck ton of effort into this game. I'm gonna just skip these scenes. There's really not much to that bit at all. I like the design of the castle as well. The flooring and the lighting. Like, this game has some really... It has this really shiny look to it. I love that. We need no strategy. I suppose you don't need a strategy if you've got a sword like that. Who needs strategy when you have a massive sword like that? Let's be honest. That's another thing about this game. This game has so many badass characters. It's just ridiculous. And Dylan is one of them. And I love how, like, there's so many quotes. Like, they gave everybody, like, voice files and stuff, which is pretty cool, like, in battle. You can only fight one at once, but there are AoE spells that you can use. I'm gonna see if I can use one now. Oh, he doesn't have one. Right. Okay. Well, we killed one of them. I should have really used Alicia for that as well, but... Oh well. I get to fuck this guy up a little bit more. But as you can see there, I got a little bit of AP. The reason why I did that is because I hit an enemy when it was down on the ground, and I got an AP orb. And like, if you keep hitting enemies at the right time when they're down, you'll get bonus AP, and you can basically attack limitlessly if you can do that like well enough. And that's kind of where the element of skill comes into play with the timing of your attacks. Whereas attacking in the air, as you can see, gives more magic crystals, which basically gives you more experience. But if you don't get a direct assault, then yeah, there's no point. Because you get the most magic crystals from a direct assault. We didn't get them that time. Like, we didn't get the direct assault that time, but we did get plenty of magic crystals. Yeah, I'm just going to skip the enemies now. I'm going to see if I can deal with the primordial ooze at this point. If not, then oh well. We'll see how fast I can get through this. There's a bit of puzzling to do in this section. Not too much though. It's pretty simple for the most part. Whoops. Hang on. Yeah, that's how it's done. So basically, you destroy that, and it destroys the next one. So as you can see, it has... oh shit. Yeah, you don't want to start a battle like that, because sometimes they can surround you, and that means you start with no AP. That's a bad thing, because that means that you can't really do anything without it. Well, to be honest, I've had a very hard time recommending this game to people, because to truly get the most out of this game, you have to play the first game. Now, the problem with the first Valkyrie profile is that the story, like, you need to play it to understand a lot of the story, but the game itself has a lot of issues, which can be a massive turn off to people. If, like, it definitely was a turn off to me. Like, I really struggled to get into the first Valkyrie profile. I mean, after playing this game, I learned to appreciate it better, but I never really could get into it, and that's kind of why I preferred this game over the first game. I mean, the first game is a lot more, it has a much bigger following than this game. This game is kind of like underappreciated, but the first game does have a cult following, and a lot of people prefer the first game to this, and I disagree. I personally think this game is a lot better, mainly because of how many issues the first game had. Really, I should get this, because it is a good weapon. And it has a special attack, so if we can pull this off, we might be able to use our Soul Crush. I'm just going to skip this and go straight to the boss. So let's see if I can pull it off. Right. Oh shit. He dodged my attack. I want to be a bit careful here. I don't want to completely destroy everything, but I got a Soul Crush here, so that's kind of like the finishing move. I heard they're a bit different in the like mobile game, where you actually do like the regular characters just do this attack, and then the Valkyrie just does the Nebel and Velesti. Like they all do a Soul Crush at once. In this game, it's kind of like you have like a sequence. But to do one, you need to have a weapon that has a special attack enabled. Ideally, I'm gonna want oh, I got it. Yes, I can do it. But what you want to do for this boss is not attack the tentacles. You want to go in front. But at the same time, going in front can be risky. Because if you break the tentacles, then he'll use an ability called Regenerate, which isn't good. Ooh, nice. Frozen. Unfortunately, he unfroze. That was very poorly timed right there. Right, let's see if I can go back to hitting the bastard. Nice. Because later on you get Soul Crushes with other characters as well. So you can do a chain of the Soul Crush. But Soul Crushes don't break off enemy parts, so you might opt not to do one if you want to just break off enemy parts. And Alicia's dead. So what I want to do now is use a Union Plume on Alicia, so that I can basically bring her back. Yeah, you can also press R3. I don't really recommend it because it is kind of risky doing that though. But I can't use the menu yet. Yeah, you have to basically wait till you can use the menu. And then I'm going to use the Dwarf Tincture. There we go. Yeah, if you tap the dash button just in time, you can just about escape an enemy's like attack thing. This is a bit of an annoying move, this. So we should be able to do it. There we go. I mean, bear in mind that I haven't been fighting many enemies. And he's frozen again. This time I'm just going to attack him before I move. Now, my advice for dealing with this guy is to group at this point, so that it separates the washout attack. So I'm going to move Dylan and Rufus into their own little group, and that separates them from the attack. So that way only these two get hit. That minimises the damage that is received. Now we can bring everybody back, and we can go straight to attacking again, and we should be able to kill him. Things are looking good. It's a lot easier once you get that sword. And by the way, you do have the option to skip these soul crushes as well. You just press, I think it's either the circle or the square button in the middle of it, and it skips most of it. I think some people might be dead here. Oh, yeah, Alicia's dead. Meaning we can't use the soul crush anymore, but Dylan should be able to finish this. Or Rufus. Yeah, he's down. Right. I'm going to skip all of the cutscenes here. Well, when I get to them, because there's quite a few. Right, there's just nothing but cutscenes for like ages. That's basically it. If you want to see the cutscenes, play the game yourself. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm just rushing through the game. That's all I'm going to do at this point. Just want to get to a specific part. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I shouldn't have to go up there. I should be going up here. Right. So there's another cutscene coming up here. And also a missable item. Right, cutscene. But right after the cutscene, yeah, you get that sword. A lot of people miss that. Oh shit. Ooh, nice. Teleported. Anyways, we're going to leave, and then another cutscene, and I'm going to skip it. And now we get my favourite character. And you probably can tell that he's my favourite character because he's the same person as my avatar picture, so... This guy, yeah. Whoops. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. You can actually play 2-player in this game, believe it or not. Sadly, Lazard isn't really that powerful in this game, which is a bit of a shame, but that's mainly because he's a mage, and mages are pretty gimped. I really should bring Alicia into the party though, because I don't want 2 mages. Just basically, oh, no, I want 1 player. But basically the 2-player works like this, like, you basically press, in a battle, like, one player has control of that character in battle, but not directly. They can't actually move with that character. And all they can do is attack with that character. So they basically get their attack button, pretty much. As much as I love listening to Liam's voice, I'm going to skip this. This is another track that you might be familiar with if you played the mobile game. There we go. Yeah. That track. That's, if I recall, the first, like, it plays in the first area of the game. Yeah, it plays in the first area of the, like, I think it might be the tutorial area or something of the mobile game. But yeah, that's where the song comes from. It's from this game. But yeah, I'm just gonna skip through all the enemies around here. I'm gonna see how far I can get while skipping enemies. That's what I'm gonna try and do. I'll probably get my ass handed to me in the next dungeon though. And yeah, Chapter 3. Chapter 1 and 2 are very short. Chapter 3, though, is very long. Well, it's definitely looking good. Better than it is in the first game. Because that's the thing, really. Like, if you talk about the first game, you're technically spoiling this game. Because the first game takes place later on. But it's also important to understand the events of the first game before you play this game. Because they tie in. The cutscenes are pretty basic. Like, this isn't one of those games that's built around characters and story, really. Like, it's just not one of those games. It's a game that's built around its visual presentation and its gameplay and the music and all of that. You can also feed the chicken bone meal, but I don't think I have it. Yeah. And he's not happy. But yeah, all you really need to do here, I think, is leave Coriander and it unlocks the... Oh, no, I have to talk to some guy before I can do that. Oh, whoops, no. Insect Stinger, Blue Soul Flame. Yeah. Like, really, what accessories are mainly used for is... Oh, and yeah, you can buy the Shamshir, but I don't recommend it. Longbow's pretty nice to get, though. As is the Cuirass. But yeah, I'm not going to bother getting the Falchion. I don't need it. I've got a better weapon than the Falchion. I've got Hilda's sword, which is better. Oh, hang on. Oh no, it was a longbow for Rufus, wasn't it? Is he even in the party? I don't know. Is he? Yes, he is. Right, now I just need to go to the inn and let's see if I can do the dungeon. I don't think I'll be able to. But yeah, to truly appreciate this game, I think the best thing for you to do is to play it yourself and listen to the actual music the game has. Because that's how you get the most out of it. Like, watching this stream, you're not really going to get a good experience from it, really. Just me talking is kind of distracting from what this game's actually about. You've got to play it yourself in a solitary and experience it in a solitary fashion to truly appreciate it. Because my commentary is kind of not a good thing for a game like this. It's not really, like, even Bio said this isn't really a game that's suitable to stream. You just talk to that person. I like how you can see things going on in the background. Even though you can't interact, you can kind of see things going on. Right, there we go. Surberg Mountain Ruins, there we go. It's amazing how much, like, time the cutscenes take. Like, that's the majority of the game. At the beginning, the majority of the game is cutscenes. Like, that's basically what it is. Like, the entirety of the first few chapters is basically cutscenes. Like, this is the first seal stone. And seal stones are a big deal in this game. Just for fun, I'll probably pick this one up, even though it's not a good thing to pick up. Well, actually, no, I won't bother picking it up, but yeah, it basically, that just affects the enemies, really, and it makes the enemies' AI brain dead so that they don't see you. It can be pretty handy, though. Am I going the right way? No. That's just treasure. And I don't need that treasure. Because that's another thing about the treasure chests in this game. Some of the treasure chests are actually traps, so you have to be careful about that. And naturally that means that I'm not going to bother opening them. Oh, I know what I need to do here. Whoops. Great. Drop that down there. Drop that down there. And yeah, just keep dropping it down to the bottom. And then do that, and it's in the middle. So yeah, it just shows you what you can do with Phozon. Not Phozons. That's Odin's Sphere. Not that the games are any different, let's be honest. Odin's Sphere ripped this game off big time. It did. Like, either that or it was heavily inspired by this game. Like, they even threw Nibelung Blasti in there, so it has to have been inspired by this game. You're not allowed break time. Rangrim's in the pie now. He's a pretty cool character. He's basically this game's equivalent of Guts. That's basically, he's the Valkyrie profile equivalent of Guts. That's what he is. So, no, that's all you need to know about Arngrim. I mean, just look at the guy. It's freaking Guts. It is. Now, I'm going to swap Alicia out for Leone immediately because I just think Leone is better. Say goodbye to your equipment. Now, I don't know if I need your robe or cloak or whatever, but I'm definitely going to bring Leone into the battle because she's just better. No, screw it, we'll just put everything there and we'll just go. Increased mass. Oh yeah. I want to see if I can beat the Wyvern without having to level up at all. I doubt I will. That's how little confidence I have. But we'll see. I'm going to see if I can. This is a Divinity Void. You can't use Phozons. Oh, I said it again, Phozons. That's what happens when you've played Odin Sphere for too long. Oh shit, looks like the wall's opened. But we dealt with that. Oh shit, that went well. Ow. That didn't go well either. I might not even get to the boss at this rate. Nah, shit, I should have done that earlier. Oh, fuck. Lazard needs to get back up. It sucks how much they've nerfed Lazard in this game. Like, well, like, how he's just so weak in this game. Yeah, I'm gonna have to heal if I want to stand a chance. Oh. Oh shit. Ah. And this is what happens when you get back attacked. That went well. Well, I suppose I can go straight for this guy. He's down the stairs. I might get hit, but oh well. I'll just have Leone take the hit for me. Oh shit, that didn't go well. That went a lot better. Probably just gonna have Lazard get away. Because he's on low health. And he's down. Good. Yep. Things aren't looking good. Yeah, this is as best as I'm gonna do. No more healing items, this is it now. Fuck. Oh. And I buggered it up again. I can escape though, I suppose. But yeah, as you can see, the battles are in 3D, but the exploration is in 2D. I think that's pretty cool. It's an interesting look on the, like, it's an interesting change if you think about it. But yeah, this is where I think that sword blessing over there, if I recall, it might be, it might not be, I don't know. Either that or it's increased yes, it's sword blessing, good. I'm gonna grab that, it's my only chance. Yeah, there we go. Now my attack is multiplied by 120%. Now when you consider the gear as well, that you get if you have really good gear and a really good combination of seal stones, you can become godlike in this game. You really can. Anyways, let's see if we can do this boss. I doubt we will be able to, but we're going to see how well we can do with what we've got. Probably us. I don't know if I can use magic. Yes, I can, but not far enough. I'm probably going to have to go down here to cast it. And swap towards Art's perspective so I can use it. Not close enough yet. Yes. So you can cast magic from range, but as you can see, it doesn't really do much damage. However, you can use it as a means of, like, getting enemies to change their attack pattern without having to use an item. Ooh, I can use Leona's Soul Crush, which I personally think is a lot better than Alicia's. But the party's over. Regardless of what happens, I'm probably going to end the stream after this boss, so... Because I know that the bit after this, where I'm at, on my other file, is actually directly after this bit. In case you're wondering what I mean by that, I'm talking about my New Game Plus file, which is actually a lot harder because I'm playing on a harder difficulty. I'm playing on 1 crystal mode. Might be able to do this, I don't know. Oh shit, I missed with Dylan, that didn't help. Yeah, this isn't going well. You know shit's getting real when both Dylan and Lazard are dead. Let's see how well I can do here. Probably not going to do it, but I'm going to keep trying. No, it's game over. But yeah. And that's my cue to stop the stream then, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.